What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here doing another review, doing Venomized number 3, and this was pretty good. I liked it, not only because I've been following this kind of series since Venomverse back in the fall, but this had a couple little plot twists in it, in kind of the mythos of the poisons, and it kind of turned it on the ear a little bit. So, thus far, back in Venomverse, when the poisons were introduced, they pretty much feed off of a symbiote which has been attached to a host. They gain all of the memories and information of the host of the symbiote, plus all the power, almost as like a catalyst, and they become something stronger, a complete being almost. But in doing so, it also pulls them into like a hive mind. The poisons themselves were from a different dimension, but it's clear that they have been hopping dimensions, gathering heroes like Punisher, and you'll see in this one Iron Fist and some other ones, and kind of using them in their army to then capture more. They talk about two anomalies in every universe that they've found, or really one in every universe is Carnage, which can easily defeat the poisons. The next one is Kid Kaiju, which I guess I missed. I didn't read the Monsters Unleash event, and I didn't read the series, but I guess that's where he's from, and he can create monsters, I believe. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that, but that's what it appears like he can do. So they are after both of those anomalies, because one, if they can bring Carnage onto their side, that's one less weakness that they have. If they get Kid Kaiju, then they can spawn monsters and give themselves ultimate power to do that. But they also, in this issue, talk about a third anomaly, which they have not seen in any of the other universes that they've come across. And also, you see here the Thor's hammer and a hand picking it up. There's also a neat little twist in that. So they've come to Earth. What they've started doing is using genetically engineered symbiotes, firing them at heroes, and then kind of harvesting them once the bonding process is complete. And when I say genetically engineered, they are unable to let go of their host. So Spider-Man had a symbiote attached to him. He went to the clock tower, just like he did with Venom, tried to get rid of it. He couldn't. The symbiote was in pain, but it was unable to let go of him, which was kind of an interesting twist, which kind of shows how kind of devious the poisons are. So kind of let's just jump in. So you have Thor was just at the end of the last issue possessed by a poison, which, by the way, her poison form looks pretty awesome, and she goes on this whole tirade of now we have a god on our side, blah blah blah, and that, which leads me to believe in any other universe, even though they have some of their heroes, they've never had a Thor before. And I love this because it shows that the Thor's power comes strictly from the hammer and not the person, at least for Jane Foster Thor. Without the hammer, she's powerless. She's just I wouldn't say cancer survivor, because even though she's alive in here, she's dead in the world, so be it. But anyway, so she tries to attack Cap, and instantly the hammer falls, and I love this. Cap goes, unworthy, hit him with all you got. And so they start, fighting. Miss Marvel gets hit with a symbiote, but I like this here. So Thor has Hercules, and Hercules sees Hippolali. I don't know. She's like calling to him. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna he's like, oh, with you we will have victory. And of course, it's a mind trick from the poisons. But in an instant, just as he's about to touch her, Jane Foster comes like falling out of, like, kind of lightning strikes the poison that was about to touch Hercules, and Jane Foster is able to separate herself from the poison version, essentially, which poisons were telling everyone that as soon as they bonded with the symbiote and the host, they consumed the host as fuel for the transformation. So once the transformation was complete, the host was essentially dead. It was just fuel on the inside, and it was consumed. This shows that is incorrect, and the fact that they don't do that, and maybe the host is not consumed right away, although they do say that maybe she was shielded by the magic of the hammer, because when the hammer dropped, she changed back, and some of the magic allowed her to pop out. Jean Grey comes back from space, from outer space, I don't know, anyway, with the rest of the poisons that were in the Poison X crossover. They kind of get into a little bit of fight, but this is the panel that I really liked. So they had captured Cletus, not Carnage, because the Carnage symbiote had been separated, which, of course, everyone knows now that it is with Norman Osborn. But I liked the way this symbiote looked. So they tried to fuse him with another symbiote. He resisted for a long time, and it finally kind of bonded. And he's like, this isn't who I am, like, blah, 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 like, this isn't me, this isn't my other, I want my other. But I kind of like the way this one looked, like the slack jaw, but it kind of looks like a hood and a cloak, and, it just looks creepy, it looks ghoulish. I almost wish this would kind of be, has like kind of the hooked feet. Pretty neat. And of course, then they send a poison in to try and obtain it. Venom makes some really good points because, Spider-Man, again, kind of being a little brash about the situation, having dealt with the symbiotes before, is like, look, we need to kill him, just get rid of him. Nothing good has ever come from a symbiote being on this planet. We need to just get rid of it. And Venom, being a little more, sensible, he's like, look, these are living things. They didn't ask to do this. They didn't ask to be here. You're talking about killing them, killing a living thing. And then, so this is where the third anomaly comes in, and that is Anti-Venom. And I just want to skip to the part... pretty much this right here. So this is... there's another fight kind of breaking out, but I really like this. So they're trying to get a poison to interrogate them. And so Anti-Venom's like, I'm going to try and get you out of there, Frank. And like grabs him. And then instantly it kind of just explodes in like a pile of goo. And he's like, well, there was nothing in there. This series has continued to be kind of like one of those either hit or miss. This one to me was a hit. I liked it. The art seems to be fairly consistent, and I've really enjoyed where this is going. There's only 3 issues left, and I have a feeling that the 6th issue will kind of wrap up where everything started in the fall. I almost wish they just did one event and called it that instead of having a mini event, story crossover, and then mini event, because then some people might lose interest in it. Some people, might not have picked up the X-Men Blue, which, by the way, the Poison X series, very good. Outside of the annual, I didn't like it, but that's just me. Pick it up. Subscribe over here. Watch some more videos. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.